Hello, and welcome to Survivor Season 44 Hunger Games Simulator. I don't think anyone has ever done something like this. We have taken all 18 new contestants from Season 44, entered them into the simulator with a twist, because you can't get rid of 3 districts to compensate the 18 players. So we have 6 Jeff Probst entering into this Hunger Games, and we're going to see if this Hunger Games simulator can predict the winner of Season 44. Anyone that knows me, I'm a huge Survivor fan, and I'm just excited for this journey. So welcome, I am Cheddar. Let's get into Survivor 44 Hunger Games Sim Prediction and see who it predicts as the winner. All right, we're going to proceed. We got all 18 contestants in, and we're ready to go. All right, as the tributes stand on their podiums, the horn sounds. Franny finds a canteen of full water. Caroline runs away from the cornucopia. Heidi runs away from the cornucopia. Helen runs away from the cornucopia. Jeff runs away from the cornucopia. Maddie grabs a shield, leaning on the cornucopia. Sarah snatches a bottle of alcohol and a rag. Jeff runs away from the cornucopia. Jamie runs away from the cornucopia. Josh runs away from the cornucopia. Carson gathers as much food as he can. Jeff finds a bow, some arrows, and a quiver. Danny runs away from the cornucopia. Jeff runs away from the cornucopia. Maddie runs away from the cornucopia. Claire runs away from the cornucopia. Brandon runs away from the cornucopia. Yam Yam runs away from the cornucopia. Jeff runs away from the cornucopia. Lauren takes a sickle from inside the cornucopia. Kane runs away. Matt runs away. Bruce runs away. Jeff runs away. So everyone's still alive. Danny and Lauren hunt for other tributes. Heidi overhears Sarah and Franny talking in the distance. Bruce diverts Jeff's attention and runs away. Kane thinks about home. Jeff, Yam Yam, Jeff, and Maddie hunt for other tributes. Jeff stalks Jeff. Jeff is stalking Jeff. Helen receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Claire bashes Jamie's head against a rock several times. Now, if this kills her, Jamie would be considered the first elimination in the simulator. Carolyn tends to Jeff's wounds. Carson travels to higher ground. Josh receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Maddie receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Matt thinks about home. Brandon sees smoke rising in the distance, but decides not to investigate. One cannon shot can be heard in the distance. Fallen tribute from District 9, Jamie. Our first vote out. All right, Sarah cries herself to sleep. Jeff looks at the night sky. Claire receives clean water. Danny tends to Jeff. Helen screams for help. Matt climbs a tree to rest. Heidi tends to her wounds. Bruce sees a fire but stays hidden. Franny screams for help. Maddie and Jeff talk about the tribute still alive. Jeff thinks about winning. Carson receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Josh, Yam Yam, Jeff, Kane, and Brandon track down and kill Lauren. Maddie dies trying to escape the arena. That's 2. Carolyn receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Jeff also receives clean water. Jeff overhears Jeff and Yam Yam talking in the distance. Jeff goes hunting. Maddie, Heidi, Sarah, and Caroline hunt for other tributes. Jeff overhears Franny and Danny. Jeff explores the arena. Josh picks flowers. Claire thinks about home. Jeff fishes. Bruce discovers a cave. Brandon goes hunting. Carson strangles Kane after engaging in a fist fight. Oh my gosh. Helen is pricked by thorns while picking berries. Matt camouflages himself in the bushes. 3 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Lauren from District 6, Maddie from District 5, and Kane from District 5. Jeff kills Matt with his own weapon. Jeff, Carson, and Yam Yam sleep in shifts. Maddie questions his sanity. Danny attempts to start a fire but is unsuccessful. Franny cannot handle the circumstances. She quits. Jeff shoots a poisonous blow dart into Jeff, slowly killing him. Jeff killed Jeff. Claire fends Jeff, Brandon, and Bruce away from her fire. Carolyn catches Sarah off guard and kills her. Helen loses sight of where she is. Josh sets up camp for the night. Jeff receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Heidi sets up camp for the night. Bruce receives an explosive. Claire tries to sleep. Jeff tries to spearfish with a trident. Carolyn receives fresh food. Danny sees smoke rising in the distance but decides not to investigate. Maddie discovers a river. Jeff receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Josh and Heidi hunt for other tributes. Brandon receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Yam Yam fishes. Jeff, and Helen raid Carson's camp while he is hunting. We hear 4 cannons in the distance. Matt, Franny, our first Jeff, and Sarah. Helen attempts to start a fire but is unsuccessful. Heidi starts a fire. Claire shoots a poisonous blow dart into Jeff's neck, slowly killing him. Danny cooks food before putting his fire out. Jeff thinks about home. Jeff and Yam Yam huddle for warmth. Jeff cries himself to sleep. Brandon goes to sleep. Caroline screams for help. Josh and Maddie hold hands. Bruce thinks about home. Jeff receives clean water, and Carson cooks his food before putting his fire out. Yam Yam runs away from Jeff. Caroline thinks about home. Josh goes hunting. Helen hunts for other tributes. Brandon discovers a river. Bruce is pricked by thorns while picking berries. Danny injures himself. Claire repeatedly stabs Maddie to death. Jeff throws a knife into Jeff's chest. Carson scares Jeff off, and Heidi constructs a shack. We hear 3 cannons in the distance. 2 Jeffs and a Maddie. We're going to see everyone's status so you can see where people stand. We have Josh, Carolyn, Brandon, Helen, Carson, Bruce, Yam Yam, Claire, Heidi, and Danny. Of the 18 contestants still in, 3 Jeffs are still in. Jeff sets up camp. Yam Yam looks at the night sky. Brandon, Jeff, Claire, Josh, and Jeff sleep in shifts. Heidi, Carson, and Bruce unsuccessfully ambush Caroline, Helen, and Danny, who kill them instead. Jeff, Yam Yam, and Danny successfully ambush and kill Caroline, Brandon, and Helen. Jeff begs for Jeff to kill him. He refuses, keeping Jeff alive. Josh attacks Claire, but she manages to escape. We hear 6 cannons. Heidi, Carson, Bruce, Carolyn, Brandon, and Helen, all contestants. So we are now down to 3 Jeffs and 4 contestants in this Season 44 Survivor matchup. Jeff, Claire, Jeff, Josh, and Danny sleep in shifts. Jeff attempts to start a fire and is unsuccessful. Yam Yam questions his sanity. Looks like we missed it, but the cornucopia was replenished with food, supplies, weapons, and memoirs from the tributes' families. So, Yam Yam did not go, Danny did not go. Josh bashes Claire's head in with a mace. Jeff tracks down and kills Jeff. Jeff takes a staff leaning against the cornucopia. Jeff overhears Yam Yam and Danny talking in the distance. Jeff constructs a shaft. Josh picks flowers. We hear a cannon for Claire and Jeff. We now have 2 Jeffs left and 3 contestants. The odds of a contestant winning are very high. Josh and Jeff run into each other and decide to truce for the night. Danny kills Yam Yam as he tries to run. Jeff dies from hunger. We're down to 3. Josh, Jeff, and Danny. Jeff runs away from Danny. Josh receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. We have Yam Yam and Jeff dead. We have 1 Jeff who has 5 kills. We have Danny Massa who has 7 kills. And we have Josh Wilder who has 2 kills. This is insane. There's a 66% chance that we crown the winner as a contestant. Jeff cooks his food before putting the fire. Josh begs for Danny to kill him. He refuses, keeping Josh alive. Danny goes hunting. Jeff receives an explosive. Josh bleeds out due to an untreated injury. So right now, if Danny beats Jeff, Danny is considered the winner. Josh is dead. Jeff versus Danny. Jeff severely slices Danny with a sword. The winner is Jeff Probst, Survivor 44. The odds were in favor of a contestant winning. We only had 6 Jeff Probst. We only had 6. But again, we come down to the winner being Jeff. And you know what that means? That we now have to cycle through this one more time. The winner of Survivor Season 44, according to the Hunger Games simulation on the second try, is Heidi. So, if Heidi wins Survivor 44, we'll come back and revisit this. But I'm excited. I love you guys. And I will see you guys in the next video. Be sure to leave a like, hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you want to see me react to. And let me know if you like this and want more of this. A lot of shows we can do this to. I will see you guys around. Goodbye.